But what about the future? Can I affect the future? Let's assume that you just bought a new laptop, you went to this internet cafe, you browsed to your Gmail account, not to your Gmail account, you browsed to Google, to a boring website, and then you close the laptop, you go home, and then you go to your office and connect this laptop to your office. Can I do something that will affect you in the future, that will affect your browsing experience in the future? So definitely, there are several ways to utilize Active Man in the middle attacks for that. The more interesting one would be cache poisoning. What we would do in such a scenario is that we will redirect your browser to an interesting website and then return a response together with HTTP headers that will say to your browser, please keep this page in your cache. Then this information will be saved in your browser's cache. You will go home, you will take a shower, whatever, and then when you'll try to access this interesting website from your office network, then the cached version will be used. The malicious cache version will be used. What can I do with this? I can hijack all of your session if I've cached your bank site or something like that. I can change everything you are seeing. I can perform actions on your behalf, and so on. Any questions so far? So let's show a demo of this as well. So again, I'm using an unsafe network, and I'm browsing. I just refreshed. I'm browsing to my to the Google website, and as you can see over here in the browser site, my application told me that I have poisoned the cache of the victim. The victim can now go to a safe network. He can close his browser, he can close his computer, whatever. After a couple of weeks, it goes to his interesting site. And as you can see here, the logo was changed. Obviously, real attacks would not change the logo of the application that they're trying to hack into. But this just shows you that I can do anything I want. I can also put scripts here. So I will hijack any keystrokes that you are doing. I will hijack any actions that you are performing on this application. And again, I can do it for any application I desire. So it's not just about a specific application and so on. Questions? OK. So let's continue. I will now move on to what can I do with Active Man in the middle to show you how I can overcome problems of, overcome the protection of VPNs. So there are different types of VPNs and VPNs clients and server. I will illustrate the way that some of them works. Specifically, Checkpoint's VPN works in that way. When the VPN is being initialized, then it actually creates a new interface in your operating system. And everything that will be sent to, and it changed the routing table so that everything that will be sent to a specific set of IPs will be sent through this interface. This interface encrypts all of the information that is being sent. And there is a VPN server that handles all of this communication. So when you browse the regular internet, you will browse using plain text, and you will use the encrypted interface when you browse specific set of IPs. When the VPN is being closed or finalized, then this interface will be destroyed. There is an important thing to note, and we will get back to this later. VPN and SSL are definitely not the same. The VPN is being done on the operating system level. The browser is not aware of the fact that a specific site or IP is within a specific VPN, is being tunneled through a specific VPN or not. And this is very important. Specifically, there is a new problem we discovered. We call it VPN mixed content. Imagine the case where in your internal network, there is something like script source equals and an external site. When you browse your internal network, you browse it through this VPN, but when your browser receives this HTML response, it will parse it and automatically send a request to the external website, and that would be in plain. It will not be tunneled through the VPN. There are some VPN clients that tunnel everything through the secure connections, but not all of them, obviously. And that is a problem, because the attacker can change the script that is being used and now gain control over this sensitive website, which is secured behind the VPN. Okay? Someone knows what happens in the HTTPS equivalent when you browse to an HTTPS site, and then you get a script source to a non-HTTPS, to a regular HTTP site. What happens usually in your browser? Yeah, you get a warning, you get a pop-up, secure and unsecure content mix-up, something like that. Usually, what do you do? Okay, yeah. But either way, we are security experts, so we don't do that. In this scenario, no pop-up will raise, because the browser doesn't really know that there is a VPN content mix-up here, because the browser is only the browser, and this is being, the content is being handled on the operating system level. The limitation of that is that it is not, I've not seen this a lot in websites that are deployed within organizations, the use of external scripts. So it is not that big of a concern. However, there is a bigger concern, and now I'm going to get to the very interesting part of this presentation. This is how can I hack into your organization? So first of all, let me say that when I'm doing this cache poisoning stuff, I don't really have to have the interesting site available, because I am the man in the middle. Because I am the man in the middle. So I can redirect your browser to this interesting site and return a response, whatever response I would like. This response could be a simple HTML containing a simple script that will perform anything I would want. So what would I do to hijack? So first of all the attacks that I mentioned before about cache poisoning, I can perform cache poisoning on websites that only exist in your internal organization. Let's assume that I am a man in the middle of a scenario where you browse your internal organization, and I don't even know to which websites you're trying to surf into. And you're using a VPN connection to tunnel to your organization. What I could do is the following. First of all, I would cut the internet connection. While I cannot, as the man in the middle, I cannot view the information that is being sent from you to the VPN server, I can still cut the connection, not allowing any communication between you and this specific IP. Then I would wait. Usually, a VPN client will detect that the VPN server is not existent, and it will perform the finalization part. And that would be remove the, revert the routing table, so that the next request that you will perform to the internal server will be sent in plain. Using the regular techniques that I've shown you before, I can perform cache poisoning on that server. Then I can reestablish the connection between yourself and the VPN server. And by the regular iframe injection, the active concepts, I can make your browser go to that specific resource, the internal resource, but now my cached version will be used. So this way, even if you're browsing your local network through a VPN secure connection, as a man in the middle, I'm still capable of changing whatever you see in that scenario. So we talked about VPN connections. I also mentioned, yes, sorry.
Last slide you told about the VPN thing, right? When we will connect it, it will revert back. Like we will disconnect it. You will disconnect.
Yes.
And the victim will come to know that, no?
Yes, so the user will know, if he will look, he will know that I have did this by seeing an icon or something